Every time India takes a decision, any decision, even about its internal national interests, the Western media and Qatar media erupt in criticism. Remember when India had said minorities in our neighbor Islamic nations are at the verge of extermination. They are facing horrific decades of brutalities and their only hope is from India. So we decide to provide them citizenship. BBC, India to enforce migrant law excluding Muslims. Al Jazeera saying India implements the anti-Muslim 2019 citizenship law. Time magazine even called Prime Minister Narendra Modi a divider-in-chief. Massive protests broke out in India, heated debates in other countries, even in the USA and the UK, about what is unfolding in India. The International Commission of Jurists said before the United Nations Human Rights Council that India's act is discriminatory, called for action, wanted global support. Another example. When India, while is rising, it's the fifth largest economy, stable despite COVID pandemic and the wars. International Monetary Fund praising India's strength. But the Economist headline said Narendra Modi's illiberalism may imperil India's economic progress. Now, because these are top international narratives, of course you would guess they must be independent and criticize any wrong anywhere across the world. So I decided to compare. Did you know? Recently, the United Kingdom has passed a bill that could have huge repercussions, huge. And that is the UK Rwanda Deportation Bill. So what does this bill refer to? Those who now intend to enter into the United Kingdom's territory as asylum seekers, but not through the legal means of immigration. And if that has happened after 1st of January 2022, they will be turned around and sent to Rwanda, which is in Central East Africa, a country that has earlier been mired in ethnic conflict and genocides. No questions asked about all of this. So any refugees, if they don't have the visa to land in the UK, irrespective of what they flee from, what situation they must be from, will find themselves bundled onto a plane and headed to Rwanda, a landlocked country in Africa, which is about 6,500 kilometers from the UK. They are very clear that they will now decide who they allow to enter into the United Kingdom. In Rwanda, facilities have been arranged by the UK government, accommodations and offices have been set up. The UK is tossing around £540 million to ensure deportation of these individuals and stay for about 300 asylum seekers. This is according to the National Audit Office. I'm sure this deportation bill must be a fair point because do you see global outrage against it? I did not. No blaring headlines calling the step inhumane or violent street protests against Prime Minister Rishi Sunak. Does this silence, this acceptance, is it because this is Great Britain, the Western nation that once led the biggest empire? Or is this because it is a valid step to national safety for the British people? Now, in recent years, Britain has seen a surge in the arrival of migrants in tens and thousands, fleeing conflict and poverty in regions across Africa, Middle East and Asia. But they also take dangerous journeys across the English Channel and in small boats. Sadly, many of them are often facilitated by the human trafficking network. England now says it cannot take all these people, especially those who are not vetted with a security clearance. So in Rwanda, a process will then begin to verify their claims. If the applicants succeed, they may attain a refugee status and will be permitted to remain in Rwanda. So there's no entry into the United Kingdom either way. And if unsuccessful, they may pursue a settlement in Rwanda under different grounds or seek asylum in another designated safe third country. Not many questions over this. No visible outrage and anger on the streets that may rock the British boat, metaphorically. Like you would have noticed, I do not have a say on this UK bill. It is their national security, their internal matter, their internal politics. And many say that Rishi Sunak also sees this as a wave turning positive for him. Their government is well within their rights to find what is best to protect their territory and their people. But the same right then goes to India too. And I remember fairly well the hate that is thrown at India all the time. Even though thousands of refugees, for example, whether Afghan Muslims or Rohingya Muslims have been settled in India for years, they have been given housing and opportunities and constantly are applying for more schemes. But we are constantly told that is not enough. So the question is all that enough for the United Kingdom and the Western world? Thank you for watching.